Hey, everyone. Welcome. It's Benicia Ponder, your book writing and publishing coach from inspirationalauthors.com. And we are here for today's Making Money with Your Book Masterclass. We're going to talk about what everyone gets wrong about making money with your book and how you can do it right. So I'm so excited you are here. Right off the bat, I want to start off with some encouragement for you. Your story is powerful. I'm going to say that throughout. This is something I truly believe. Your story is powerful and it deserves to light up the world and make a difference for your audience and for your income as well. We talk about impact and income in our inspirational authors community. I want you to have both impact and income. But what really happens most often is that most authors aren't making either. They aren't making impact and they're not making income, and it hurts my heart. It truly grieves my soul to see so many impactful, transformational, amazing books out there and nobody's buying them. Nobody knows about them. They are the best kept secrets around. And that's why I am so excited that you are here today for this masterclass because we are diving into something that I know many of you have been wondering about. How do I actually make money with my book? That's the question a lot of people ask me. How do I really make money with my book? And if you have ever felt like your book isn't living up to its fullest potential, or maybe you are unsure how to get the impact and the income that you've been looking for, no worries. You are in the right place. You are in the right place today. Um, because I've been there. I have definitely been there, been in those shoes where I'm wondering, how do I do this? When I published my first book, my initial thought was, this is it. This is a great book. People are going to want to buy it. I have such great insight and information in it, and the sales are just going to roll in, and I'm going to be set. Right? But that didn't really happen that way. It did not happen that way. Um, and after working with hundreds of authors, I can tell you that this is a common struggle. The good news is that today we are going to clear up the biggest myths about making money with your book. Okay, we're gonna bust these myths. If you've these big myths, if you've ever had them, I'm going to give you a perspective shift on them today. And I'm going to share strategies you can start using right away to change the game. Right away, you can start using these strategies to make sure that you are making both an impact and an income with your book. Okay. So let's start off first by looking at the biggest myths about making money with your book. Okay. These are the things I see authors get wrong over and over again. Myth one is what I talked about before, my own personal struggle in the beginning when I wrote my first book, thinking that once my book is on Amazon, it's going to sell itself. And, that right now I'm like, oh, that's delusional. But people are still thinking that way. I get authors coming to me all the time with books on Amazon, and I'm asking them, hey, what are you doing to market your book? How are you selling your book? And they say, it's on Amazon. And I say, what else? Oh, it's on Amazon. Their idea is it's going to sell because it's on Amazon. That's a big myth. That's not going to happen. If your book is in Barnes and Noble or you're in a local bookstore, your book doesn't sell itself. People actually have to go looking for your book. Um, And the truth of the matter is that even the most amazing books don't sell if people don't know about them. If there's no visibility strategy in place, that book, as amazing as it is, will not sell. So just understand that if nobody knows about your book, no one can buy it. Okay. Myth two that I want to talk to you about is relying solely on royalties. You're thinking, I'm going to get rich. My book royalties are going to make me rich. Yes, I'm going to make royalties. Um, and I want us to do some quick math here. You don't need a paper and pen, it's just quick math. But just imagine you are getting $3 per book in royalties. Okay. And that's just an average amount. Some make less than $3, some make a little bit more, but the average, I'd say between $2 to $3 per book in royalties is pretty much average. Okay. Um, so if you're making $3 in royalties per book, how many books would you need to sell to make $10,000? You need to sell a little over 3,300 books. If you want to make $1,000, you need to sell about a little over 330 books, right? Now, the real hard, honest truth is that most authors don't reach those numbers in their first year. Some authors don't reach those numbers over the lifetime of their book. I'm going to let that sink in because a lot of times they rely on that first myth that just because they press publish, the book is going to automatically sell. And so they don't get out there and their book does not sell copies. Most authors are selling less than 100 copies per book over the lifetime of their book. That's sad, but it is the hard truth. Beyond their friends, their family, their immediate network, they're not selling copies of their book. And if you're thinking you're going to get rich off of royalties from a book that you're not getting visible and getting out there, it's not going to happen. Royalties are not going to make you rich. And even if you sold thousands of books over the lifetime of your book, let's say you have your book out for 10 years and you sell 1,000 copies in those 10 years. Well, that's $3,000 spread out over 10 years. $300 a year from your book. Yeah, no, we don't want to fall into that myth, okay? That the book royalties are going to make you rich. Myth number three is that I'm just going to sell, 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 sell. I'm going to sell my book. I'm going to put it out there. So I've seen people who kind of get it that just because I have my book published does not mean that it's going to sell. So I'm going to sell my book. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to post it all over social media. Hey, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. And you'll see their posters, you'll see their flyers, you'll see their book covers, you'll see all these different things. Hey, my book is on sale right now. You'll see all these things about their book, and they're selling their book. The problem with that is that people see the book, but they don't understand how that book relates to their lives. They don't understand why they need that book. All they see you saying is, buy my book. Now, your friends, your family, people that you are connected with intimately might go ahead and support you. They'll go ahead and buy that book just because it's you. But people who don't know you, when you try to focus on that transactional type of marketing, that transactional type of selling, you're going to miss out. Because when you focus on this, when you focus on serving, what you want to do is focus on serving. When you focus on serving, I will guarantee you the sales are going to come. But when you focus on that selling, that buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, selling strategy, you're going to piss off those people that you're called to serve. You're going to turn them off, and they're not going to want to really engage with you because all they think about is, oh, you're just pushing that book. You're not pushing anything else but that book. And so the myth that you have to focus solely on that buy my book strategy keeps you from connecting with those people that you really are called to serve. And so you want to make sure that you're not falling into that. You want to build relationships and not focus on the transactions. Okay. Myth number 4 is that publishing is the end of the road. You know, I'm done. Once I publish my book, I'm done. Um, you have to have a bigger picture strategy. A book isn't the end goal, it's the beginning. And your book should fit into a larger plan that connects to your mission and creates long term impact. Okay. So I want us to take a second right here just to think. I want you to do some reflection right now. Have you found yourself falling prey to any of these myths? Is your book strategy, if you have one, you might not have a book strategy yet, but does your book strategy need to be shifted based on what we now know is the truth? I want you to think about that for a moment. Take a moment and think about what your book strategy is and think about if you are relying on any of the myths, okay? And write these down. Write these down. Because you want to be aware. You definitely want to be aware of where you've been falling short. And you might be saying, well, I'm not making any sales. Well, you might not be making sales because you're thinking that Amazon is going to sell for you. Or you might not be making sales because all you're doing is putting out flyers of your book cover. Okay. Dr. Teresa is being honest here, saying she's relied on all of them. Yes, 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 absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. That you have relied on all of them. And you're not alone. I will definitely say you are not alone with that. Um, you definitely are in good company because a lot of great authors who have powerful books rely on these myths and they are not getting the results they truly want from their books because of that. So let's shift our focus. Um, we want to shift our focus to realizing that your book is not just a product, it's a platform. Your book isn't just a product, it is a platform. Okay. And what I want to do right now is to help you to shift into that mindset, to flip the script. And instead of seeing your book as just words on a page, as just a product, I want you to think of it as a platform for delivering your message out into the world, a platform from which you can serve, a platform from which you can transform lives. Okay. It's not about just making sales. This is about creating opportunities to serve and to connect with your readers. So, here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the impact and income roadmap. And this is how you're going to focus on creating those opportunities to serve, creating those opportunities to connect with your readers. Step 1 of this roadmap is to identify your ideal audience. Who is your book really for? That's the question you want to ask. Who is your book really for? The more specific you are, the better you can serve them. Another trap a lot of authors fall into is to believe that their book is for everyone. And that is not true. Your book is not for everyone. And let me say it this way. Not everyone wants your book. Okay. You might have a universal inspirational message, but that message is for a specific group. There's a specific group that God has placed on your heart to share, to serve. And instead of trying to speak directly to that group because you think that if you narrow down, let's just talk to that group, you're going to be missing out on other people. What happens is you're so general, you're so, obtuse about who you're serving that the people who you are meant to serve don't get the message. When you can tap into, you can identify your ideal audience, you are able to connect directly to them because you can speak their language. You can find them. You know what conferences they attend. You know what books they read. You know what problems they have. You know them when you can identify them. And so I want you to get clear to identify your audience. The second step is that you are going to pinpoint a specific problem your book solves for that audience. Okay? What challenge does your reader face? And how does your book help them to overcome it? Remember, we're not just talking about buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. You're talking about how your book solves their problem. Why is your book the answer to their prayers? What have they been praying about? Whether you're a health coach, a financial coach, a life and wellness coach, whatever, you're talking about helping people overcome grief or helping people to transition in their careers, whatever it is that you're helping people to do, how does your book help them to transition? I like to ask the question, how is your reader's life better because they read your book? You want to be able to identify that clearly. Okay. Now, the third step in this pathway is to, in this roadmap, is to actually create a pathway for your readers to engage with you further. And this could be a free resource, a webinar, an invitation to join your email list. The key is to give them an easy way to take the next step with you. I encourage my clients to make sure, in fact, on the very front of the book, third page. So you have, your inside cover page, you have your copyright page. Page number 3 is an invitation for them to connect with you beyond the book. You do it right up front, right up front. Why? Because honestly, most people are not going to get to the end of your book, right? Right up front, because right away you want to let them know, hey, I am here to serve you. I have resources that can help you to go beyond the content that's in this book or to implement what's in this book. Okay. Um, for example, one of my clients, Jessica, and I'm showing a little bit of her pathway here on the screen. She's a career coach. And so her book was all about helping professionals to get out of lackluster careers, and it's about, it's called From Stuck to Thriving, and it's talking about landing your dream job. Okay. And she wants them to do that without being overwhelmed, without burnout. And so her book is giving strategies for professionals who feel unfulfilled in their current jobs and they want to transform to the careers that they love. Okay. So she's a career coach and she's helping people to find the jobs they love. Right. So she knows her audience, professionals. Okay. And she knows the problem that she's serving. The problem that she's solving is she's helping mid-career professionals who feel stuck in unfulfilling jobs. And she's helping them to learn how to transition to careers that really align with their passions and their strengths without feeling overwhelmed. Okay. So what we did was to look at that and identify a logical next step for her readers. And since many of her readers might need extra guidance in taking action, what we decided to offer, well, let me say, I helped her to I say we, I'm not. Jessica, um, what I helped Jessica decide to offer is a free career clarity workbook as a next step or as a resource for that. And so it's a downloadable guide that helps readers to identify their core skills, to really get clear and define what their ideal job looks like, all of that good stuff. Okay. And then we place that at the very front of her book, very front. So people can see that. They can well, in the Kindle version they can click on it, but in the paperback version they can type in the URL and go straight to put their name and their email address in to get her career clarity workbook. So now she has a way to connect with them beyond the book. So whether or not they finish that entire book or not, she has a way to connect with them, to provide them more insight. So now that they're on her email list, she can give good tips and tools and strategies. She can give more resources. She can offer webinars and master classes. She can offer her coaching services, her one-on-one services, right? Now that they have gotten out of the pages of the book, they've gone beyond the book. Now she's able to serve them at a higher level. So her book pathway, we started with the book, and it moved into the free coaching clarity workbook. And then once they were on her email list, she gave out tips and tools, and we created that email sequence for her at the beginning. She had live webinars, and then she had her career coaching program. So I want you to think about your own pathway. What could that look like for you? What could that pathway look like for you? And I'll tell you why having this pathway works. Okay. Your readers get immediate actionable value from you. Yeah, the book is there with that message in there, but now they're getting some more actionable value. Okay. It works because you are now able to connect with them outside of the pages of the book. You can now provide greater insight into the different things that you talk about in your book. You can now connect with them and share with them other resources. Okay. So think about what that pathway could look like for you. Okay. How can you turn your book readers into engaged followers and potential clients or customers? Okay. Think about what that would look like for you. All right. And I hope you're writing this down. I hope you're taking notes on this. Okay, because I don't want you to just to hear me. I want you to be able to take this and start making money with your book right away. And we're going to talk about that in this next section because I want you to start monetizing your book. And I want you to be able to monetize your book this week. So we're going to talk about three strategies. Okay. Three strategies, simple monetization strategies that can help you to get more visibility as well as to start helping you to make a little bit more income. Okay. Um, so again, we understand our book is not just a product, it's a platform. I want you to think about that. All right. So let's talk about how to monetize it. And we're going to talk about three key strategies that are all about creating value for your audience while also generating income for you. We're going to talk about speaking, workshops or courses, and then we're going to talk about coaching or consulting. So let's start off with the speaking engagements. Okay. Now, your book already establishes you as an expert, right? The fact that you have knowledge that you can get out of your head and onto the page, the fact that you have enough knowledge and expertise to share to help guide someone through a certain process or whatever it is, that positions you as an expert. Okay. Um, you can now use that expertise to pitch yourself for speaking engagements. Now, when I'm saying speaking engagements, I'm talking not just about speaking on a stage at a conference or a church event or something of that nature. I'm also talking about podcasts, maybe radio interviews, live streaming on other people's platforms. Okay. These are all ways that you can get in front of other people's audiences. Okay. You'll do these things on your own audience. So if you have your own group, your own network, you can offer workshops like I'm offering now. You can offer live stream sessions. You can have a YouTube channel, all of these. But the strategy I'm talking about right now is getting in front of other people's audiences. Okay. Um, and so what I want you to think about is how can you do that? One of my clients, Sarah, she's a leadership coach. And so her book was all about helping professionals to feel more confident, how they can overcome fear, that whole imposter syndrome kind of thing, so they can lead boldly. Okay. And she wanted speaking opportunities. She wanted to get in front of other people's audiences. She specifically wanted to do conferences and leadership events and leadership summits. So in the beginning, we created the whole plan for her. We created, her one sheet, the marketing pitch, all of that. But right off the bat, in order to help her to start getting this, because in the beginning she hadn't done speaking engagement, so um, she didn't have any kind of a resume or a sizzle reel or any kind of thing like that to show of the speaking engagement. So right off the bat, we had to get her in front of other people's audiences so she can get that experience and use that as proof that she could to larger audiences. And so what we did was write a one-liner pitch that she could use with her warm audience, people that she knew who had Facebook groups, people that she knew who had Instagram followings, people that she knew who were hosting summits or were members of chambers of commerce, who had different church groups, things like that. Who did she know who had groups? And we just wrote a one-line pitch. It was something like, hey, in my book, Confident Leadership, I help professionals break free from self doubt and step into their leadership potential. I'd love to speak at your event and share actionable strategies for building confidence and leading with impact. Okay. So, right off the bat, this did two things. It showed, number one, she has a book. She's an expert at this. She knows what she's talking about. But it also told the person, hey, these are the people that I serve, and this is what they're going to get. This is the benefit to your people for having me there. And she sent this out to her warm network, people that she knew that she had connections with right away. And in that week between our coaching sessions, she booked 5 engagements with people that she knew by just allowing them to, number one, understand what she did and what she had to offer and how she could be a benefit to their audience. I guarantee you that you know people right now who have groups of people that you can share your message with. You right now know somebody with a Facebook group. You know someone right now that runs a church women's group. You know someone right now who is in a Rotary Club or is a member of a chamber of commerce. Maybe you are a member of a chamber of commerce and you need to just go to the person who does events and say, hey, I love to host a workshop. I love to host a presentation, right? Being able to reach out to them, see how I challenge you to see how many events or how many engagements you can book. You know somebody who has a podcast. I want you to make a list of these people and write a simple pitch, letting them know about your book and about what you can offer to their people. If you notice what we did with her pitch, it wasn't all about the book. Yeah, we mentioned the book because that's a credibility builder, right? But she really talked about how she's going to help the audience. I help professionals break free from self doubt and step into their leadership potential, I'd love to speak at your event and share actionable strategies for building confidence and leading with impact. So she's selling who she's talking to and how she's going to help serve. Remember, this is about building relationships. It's about showing how you're going to solve problems. Okay. So I want you to take a moment right now to think about that. Write, write a simple little um, pitch that you could use. Highlight who you serve and how your book solves a key problem. I also want you to think about 5 to 10 people that you can reach out to this week to start the conversation about how you can get in front of their audience. This is going to help you with your visibility. And here's something that I just thought of. I did not put this in my notes. So this is, um, but when you're on these speaking engagements, when you're on these podcasts, when you're in front of these audiences, you want to point them back to a way they can get off of that platform that you're on onto yours. So you will offer your resource. You will offer a way for them to connect with you to get them onto your platform, right? You're using other people's audiences for the visibility, but you don't want those people to stay there. You want them to come to you. This is the same way with social media. You can promote via social media, but we don't own those platforms. People lost their minds when TikTok went down for less than 24 hours. The truth of the matter is, if you know your message, if you have a way for people to connect with you outside of these platforms that you don't own, then you can continue to connect with them. Okay. So that's a side note, an extra bonus note. Let's say that. Okay. So let's get into strategy 2. Again, these are monetization strategies you can use this week to generate some income, to get some visibility. Okay. To create momentum with your book. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about workshops and courses. Okay. Now, one of the simplest ways that you can create a workshop or a course is to take a chapter from your book and distill the wisdom from that chapter. And you could turn it into a 1-hour workshop, a mini course. This is a great way to serve your audience and earn some income. So one of my clients is a fitness coach. And he's not just a fitness and wellness coach. He is, in my opinion, super amazing. When we worked together, we published his book about six years ago. And at that time, he was in his early 80s. Okay, so we can do the math and see where he is now, right? This man, to this day, um, he still teaches fitness classes once a week. He still caters. He has a catering business. He still caters. He is active in his church community. He's all over the place, right? Every time I talk to him, it's like, oh, I need more books because I got to sell more books. I'm going to this. He's in his late mid to late 80s. Okay. He's still doing this. He has a book called A Healthier You, and it's about living a happy, healthy life at any age. He wants people to be able to really live as he lives. Because when you look at him, you're like, oh, maybe he's 50, maybe no, he's in his late 80s and he's getting around so well. He is fluid, he moves with grace and ease, all of those things, right? Um, and so with his book, when we were looking at some monetization strategies for him and how he could make some quick money with his book, we took a chapter of his book, and one of his chapters focuses on meal prepping, and helping people to really understand how to create their meal plan. And so he decided he wanted to turn that chapter into a workshop. And that's what we did. And so again, to his warm audience, this is in the beginning. This is how do we set up quick cash? How do we make sure that we can make money now? We're going to build out the funnel. We're going to build out the web pages. But before we do all that, how can you make money now? And so, right when he had the idea, I was like, okay, David, well, how about you share this out with because he was going to senior centers, he was doing different church events and all that kind of stuff. So I said, hey, send out to your contacts just a quick little blurb about this. We're going to create a PayPal link, and then they can pay for the workshop and you can offer it, right? And so we just said something like, join me for a 60-minute live workshop where I'll walk you through a simple, effective meal prep strategy that saves you time, helps you eat healthier, and boosts your energy, all based on my book, A Healthier You, right? Now, we did mention the book, but before we mentioned the book, what happened? We talked about all of the benefits. We talked about all of the reasons why somebody would want to join this workshop. And he had the date and the time and all that kind of stuff. He even had a picture of the book, right? When he sent it out, but he sent it out as an email to his list. He charged, I think it was $50. He charged $50 for this workshop. And he had 40 people to attend his workshop. So you do the math. In that one workshop, it was $2,000 that he made from teaching one chapter from his book. So think about your book. Think about your book. Think about the chapters in your book. What could you use from that chapter to create a workshop? How could you create a workshop? So if you have a 12 chapter book, you have 12 workshops that you can create. Creating an extra, let's say $2,000 a month. You do one a month. That's an extra $24,000 that you can add to your income. You're not gonna be a billionaire, but it's a good little bit. I wouldn't sneeze at that, right? So think about that. What chapter from your book do you want to start with? Create a workshop and share it. Again, don't worry about having all the things in place. When I start with my clients, we look at how can you make money right now as we're building things out. Yeah, you'll get the systems and the strategies, but how can you start making money right now with this book? Okay. And then the last strategy we're going to talk about is coaching or consulting. Okay. Or a hybrid of the two if you like. All right. So you can help others. The fact that you have all this information in your book, the fact that you have all this wisdom, this expertise, this knowledge, we know you can help some people, right? So you want to offer some coaching or consulting services that expand on your book's message. So Melissa was one of my clients who's a financial expert. Okay. And she helped people to get out of debt. So she was really about debt-free living and how to get people to get control of their money. And so we were doing our initial consultation. One of the things she told me is that a lot of her readers need personalized help to create their own debt repayment plan. So she knows from her experience that people actually they can read the information, but they also need some guidance to help them actually do it, to customize that information to themselves and their own situations. So what we did was we structured an initial coaching offer for her. And again, she's connected with people she knows. We even combined the speaking strategy with this strategy. So she was on a couple of podcasts. She did a couple of joint live streams in groups. She did a couple of seminars at her local churches, at a few local churches in her area. And so she combined these two, and her offer was for her coaching program. And through her coaching program, she called it Debt Free Living. And she was working one on one to create a customized plan to pay off their debts, to build savings, and take control of their financial future. Right. So people connected with her. She had a call, and then you know, they were able to get that coaching program from her. And this is how she was able to start the coaching process and to launch it, to have clients right out the bat. So within the first month, she had five clients, five coaching clients, right? Not only was she in front of other people's audiences to get more visibility, so she number one built up her email list, and from that email list, she got five new clients in that month. Now, this is how you make money with your book. This is how you make money with your book. It's not about waiting on book sales or thinking that Amazon is going to sell your book. If you go through this way of being able to transform your book from just being a product to actually being a platform, yes, you're going to sell more books, but you're also going to serve more people. Okay. So, what I want you to take away from what we've talked about today, and we've covered a lot today. We talked about busting the myths about book sales. We talked about shifting your mindset from selling to serving. We've talked about mapping out powerful strategies to turn your book from into a platform for lasting impact and income. But here's what I want you to take away most. Your book is more than just words on a page. I hope I've gotten this across to you. Your book is more than just words on a page. Your book is a movement. Your book is a mission. And when you position it the right way, it has the power to change not only your readers' lives, but your life as well. And so I want you to think about that. And I want you to understand that the ultimate use of your book is to impact lives. The ultimate use of your book is to impact lives. So imagine something with me for a moment. I want you to picture yourself a year from now. Your book is not sitting on a shelf anymore on Amazon. You're not waiting for it to sell, trying to get those virtual sales. You are opening doors. Instead of waiting for your book to sell, you are out there opening doors. You're letting your book build your brand, attract opportunities, and bringing real transformation to the people who need it most. You're really harnessing the power of leveraging your book the right way. So I want you to take a moment right now. And I really want you to visualize, what could your book open the door to? Is it speaking? Is it hosting workshops? Is it coaching programs? I want you to close your eyes for a moment and picture yourself really leveraging your book. And then write down one big dream for your book and the impact it could have. I'll give you a few moments for that. What's that dream that you have? What would it look like for your book to be really out in the world, making that impact? Because everything that we've discussed today is about that, is about helping you to understand that your book can indeed change lives. But you can't do it alone. All of these things, you can't do it alone. And you don't really have to. You don't have to do it alone. Okay. So, your next steps not only to implement what we have talked about today, but I also encourage you to check out two resources. I have two resources for you. The first is the Book Marketing Club. So if you are in a place where you want to just get more exposure for your book, you want to begin to explore some of these options in different ways, the Book Marketing Club is a perfect starter. Okay. Um, we offer weekly book marketing activities and templates that are delivered straight to your inbox each week that you can do. So there's a book marketing activity each week that'll help you to get into the habit of marketing your book. There's a monthly mastermind and a supportive community. And this is really to help you to start getting into the idea that my book is not going to sell itself. I need to be out there sharing about my book. And there are creative ways that you can do that each and every week. And so if you want to find out more about the Book Marketing Club, you can go to inspirationalauthors.com/BMC. You can take a screenshot of this slide. Inspirationalauthors.com/BMC is where you'll go. The second resource is the Impact and Income Accelerator. This is a one-to-one intensive coaching experience where I really help you to go through and create your impact and income roadmap. We create your monetization pathway, all of these things to help you to begin to see real results with your book. And if you want more information about that, that we have to see if that's a good fit for you, you can schedule a free consultation with me at inspirationalauthors.com/consult. Inspirationalauthors.com/consult. And these two resources are really about helping you to go further with your book. Okay, really helping you to get it out there, make that difference you were born to make. Because the thing is, your book is already powerful. It's already powerful. Your book has the potential to change lives. And what I want to help you to do is to give it the strategy and visibility it deserves. So I encourage you to um, to take a look at that. And I want to thank you all. I'm going to open it up for questions now, but I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. And I'm looking forward. So I want you all to stay connected. I want to know if you try, I'm not going to say if, when you try these strategies that we talked about today, I want you to connect with me. You can email me, you can find me on social media, direct message me. I want to hear what you've done. Okay. I want you to pick one of these strategies. You don't have to pick all of them, pick one and put it into action. And then I want you to let me know your results. Okay. So, are there any questions? The lines are open. You can unmute yourself if there are any questions that you have about anything that we've talked about today.
This was absolutely amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this. One